Welcome to the Real Life Weight Loss Podcast, where we cut through the confusion and get down to the truth about what really works for real people when it comes to losing weight, having incredible health, and a body that you love. We believe that losing weight is really about gaining life, doing things you never thought you could, having renewed confidence, and enjoying your body more than ever. I'm your host, Corey Little. Now let's get to it. Hello, my friends. Welcome back. This is episode number 294, and today I'm going to explain how your weight loss goals might be making you miserable and actually holding you back. And we don't want that, right? It's like the very thing we're going after is making us miserable. I'm going to explain some goals that you might want to stop chasing, and I'm going to give you some solutions. Come on, Corey, get it together. We're just getting this episode going. I'm going to give you some solutions that I think can really be helpful in setting goals and in then pursuing those goals, okay? But first, before we get started, I want to say a huge thank you to everyone who's taken the time to rate and review this podcast. Number one, it means the world to me when I see that. When I read those reviews, oh my gosh, it touches my heart. Number two, it's really helpful for the podcast. And so if you enjoy this podcast, if you get something out of it, just know that if you rate and review it, man, it really helps the algorithms, whatever, the Apple Podcasts, Spotify, all out in that internet online world. It makes the algorithms go, oh, wait, people like this, and maybe we should show it to more people. Specifically, I saw two that came across Abe Besser, forgive me if I'm mispronouncing that, and Topples13. Thank you both. Thank you both for taking the time to post a review. And I hope that if you haven't, that you'll maybe take just a couple of minutes to do that. It would mean the world to me. Next up, I mentioned this in the last episode. We are coming up on 1 million downloads, which is just so unbelievable to me because I started this podcast and I was thrilled when it just had 100 downloads on the very first episode. I was like, yes, like we hit 100, we hit 120, and now we're nearing 1 million total downloads, and I am beyond honored. And it's all because of you. It's all because of you who have taken the time to rate and review, who have taken the time to send an episode to a friend or tell a coworker or tell a family member. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. And I want to do something a little special for you. So be sure to subscribe to the podcast because here in the next, I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 episodes, I'm going to be revealing that. I'm going to be telling you all about that. I kind of have a little special surprise or treat or gift, I guess you could call it, for you, for all of you amazing listeners. So be sure to stay on the lookout or listen out, whatever. Be on the lookout for that. And it'll be exciting and fun. Okay, now let's get into these goals, right? How can goals make me miserable? How can my weight loss goals be making me so sad and really holding me back and kind of almost sabotaging me? Well, it's because sometimes we don't even know what our goal is. Like, that's one of the first problems. I'm going to list a few goals here, and if you identify with any of these, if you have any of these goals, if these thoughts are bouncing around in your head, maybe if you've never even stated it clearly as a goal, this could be something that's really just stealing your joy, making you miserable, and holding you back. And the first thing is, like I said, not even knowing what your goal is. Maybe you're just frustrated and unhappy with where you are and where your body is, and then like you proclaim like, oh, something has to change. Like, I've got to do something. I'm just, and then it could come out in a lot of different ways. I'm not saying these things. I wouldn't dare say this about you, but maybe in your own head, it's like, oh, I'm just fat and tired. Oh, I'm just chubby and I don't like it. Oh, I don't like the way my clothes fit. I don't like the way I look in the mirror. I don't like the way I look in pictures. Oh, something has to change. And I don't have any energy and my joints ache and oh my goodness. And so I get it. I understand that's a point of frustration and I'm sorry you're there. But being there often is not enough of a stimulus to get us to change. And it's also maybe not the right stimulus. It's not the right motivation. But what's even maybe more devious lurking below the surface is that we don't even know what our goal is. I mean, if we say, oh, I'm just fat and tired, well, okay, I don't want to be fat anymore, and I don't want to be tired anymore. Okay, well, that's great, but we need to get a little more into this goal-setting idea, and that's what we're going to do. So that's kind of the first category of goals that can make you miserable and really kind of hold you back as well. The second one is lose my belly. I can't tell you how many people, just Google it. I mean, the millions and millions and millions of people Google how to lose belly fat. Like, we live in this day and age of abs and butt, abs and glutes, right? Everybody wants to have abs and everybody wants to have a good butt, especially a lot of the ladies out there. If you live in the Instagram world or in the, if you follow any fitness influencers, it's abs and butts. And so a big thing is, how do I lose my belly? I want to lose my belly. What's your goal? I just want to lose this belly. I can't stand it. Okay, well, I'm not saying that you're wrong for having that goal. Please understand this. I'm not saying any of these goals are wrong or bad or that you should feel ashamed for having them. I'm just saying they might make you miserable, because here's the facts of the matter. You could potentially lose your belly, but you might have a body type, or you might have just so many years of kind of programming your body a certain way that losing your belly is possible, but it might take a lot of work with your nutrition, a lot of work with your exercise that maybe either you're not willing to put forward, or you maybe almost can't. Maybe you're a mom or dad and you have 3 kids and a super busy career and a busy social life. And what it would take to lose your belly is maybe just a little out of your reach right now in your life. And I don't say that to be discouraging. I say that to just be honest, because I promise you the truth on this podcast. And if you can realize that, then that can help you maybe put that goal to the side and find a different and better goal that you can be happy with. Because otherwise, you are stuck in what I call the dissatisfaction equation, the unhappiness equation, which is intensely desiring something plus not being willing to do what it takes to get it equals constant unhappiness. And I don't want you stuck there. So lose my belly. That could be a goal that is holding you back and making you miserable. The next one is kind of in line with that, but it's not belly. It's get rid of fill in the blank. Oh, I got to get rid of my belly. Oh, I just want to get rid of this fat on my arms. Oh, I want to get rid of my jiggly thighs. I can't stand my thighs. I can't stand the way they look. I just want to get rid of them. I want to get rid of my double chin. Ever since I've gained some weight in my 30s or 40s or 50s, I just have this double chin. I know people who have lost a ton of weight, and it's just their structure. It's just their genetics. They still have a little bit of a double chin. So some of these things that are very much appearance goals, which we'll get into more in a moment, we might be able to change, but we might have limitations on just how much we can change those things. And I know this because I've coached elite athletes and bodybuilders and figure competitors. I've coached people down to 3 or 4% body fat, and they will still have a little trouble area where it's like, golly, like what is going on? You're 4% body fat. You're basically in full-blown starvation mode, and there's still a tiny bit of fat on your thighs or on your stomach or on wherever. And so that's for people who are sold out, like about to compete in, about to do a high-level competition. And we're talking about, hey, just a mom or dad or, a busy person who's, has a career and a life and a family and maybe wanting to pursue the same types of goals. So you can see how these goals would maybe lead you to be miserable. I want to lose my belly. I want to get rid of the fat on my arms, get rid of my jiggly thighs, get rid of my double chin. Another thing can be cellulite. Get rid of the cellulite. I want no cellulite. What's your goal? Oh, I want to have no cellulite. That's my goal. And then it kind of in line with these is, I just really want to like the way I look. That's what it really boils down to, Corey. The reason I want to get rid of my belly, the reason I want to get rid of this fat on my arms is because I want to like the way I look. Now, here's the thing. There's 2 different ways to approach liking the way we look. One is I'm going to change my body until I'm happy with how my body looks. That is a slippery slope, my friends. I'm not saying that you're wrong or bad for doing that. I'm just saying that the target can move. We can be like chasing the carrot, that's on the end of the stick hanging in front of us. And it just, as the more we change, the more change we want. And so that we keep kicking that can of liking our body on down the road. We keep kicking that can of being happy with ourselves and happy with our body on down the road. Okay, well, if I just could fit back into a certain size. Well, we fit back into that size. Well, God, I've still got belly fat. If I could get rid of this belly fat. So then we lose another 10 or 15 pounds, and our arms are really slender, and we like the way a lot of our body looks, but we still have fat on our thighs, or we still have some fat on our belly. And then we just keep going down this path, and so we're trying to change our looks in order to like them rather than do some work the other way around and begin to like our body the way it is so that we can move toward change from a really positive place. I know that sounds kind of weird. We'll get into more of that in just a moment. The last category of goals that I believe can make you miserable and really hold you back is just whenever there's anything vague, and this is probably Well, I see all of these quite often, but this is one that I maybe see most often. People say, oh, God, I just want to be healthy. I just want to be fit. I've got to get in shape. I want to be strong. And for some reason, we think that's a better goal than healthy or fit or in shape, or especially compared to these other goals that are based on appearance, right? Some people see those as vain. Oh, I really, if somebody hit me with a truth serum, I would say that I want to lose the cellulite on my thighs and I want to lose my belly, but instead, because I don't feel comfortable saying that because I think that's kind of vain, I'll just say I want to be fit and I want to be strong, and that feels a lot better. Look, it's okay. There's no judgment from me. I want you to be honest with yourself about what you really want. But the problem with these goals of healthy, quote-unquote healthy, fit, strong, in shape, how do we define those? What does that even mean to you? How will you know once you are healthy? There was a lady in my coaching group who she would say, Corey, it's really not so much about the weight loss for me. I just want to be healthy. I said, okay, when was your last doctor's appointment? She said, oh, it was about 3 months ago. I said, is he or she, your doctor, are they concerned with anything? She was like, no, they said everything looked good. I said, well, congratulations, you've achieved your goal. And she was like, well, yeah, but, and I was like, no, like what, how do we define healthy? So see, obviously there was more to it for her. She was still in a state of dissatisfaction because she was saying her goal was one thing, but then there was really something else underneath it. So number one, we have to very clearly define things. Like anything vague like this, it really can hold us back. Healthy, fit, strong, in shape. Number one, there can be things behind that. Number two, we have to figure out exactly what it means. Like, what does it mean to be healthy or fit or strong? Now, I'm going to stop because I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm getting into the solution. So that's what we're about to move into. I've listed a number of different goals that I believe can make you miserable and really just kind of cause you to spin your wheels and hold you back. So what are we going to do about this? Well, I want to help you work through that. I want to provide some different solutions, some different things that you need to understand and embrace moving forward if you want to set goals that really help you move forward and don't hold you back. I want to help you kind of see through the fog and the mist here and to find some clarity around your goals, okay? So solution number one is that we need to understand the difference between appearance goals and weight loss goals. We need to understand that they are different. They are not the same thing. They are different, and we need to, oh my goodness, this may be one of the most important things I've shared on the podcast. I've said it before. You might want to write this down and just to remind yourself and really embrace this. We need to understand that achieving a certain weight, a certain number on the scales, does not guarantee a certain appearance. Let me say it again. Achieving a certain weight, a certain number on the scales, does not guarantee a certain appearance. I can't tell you how many times someone's come to me and they're like, all right, Corey, I just wanted you to help me lose this last 10 pounds or last 15 pounds. And I'm like, okay, well, why? And we dig into it a little more. Well, I just, that'll help me get to where I want to be. I just want to lose this last bit of fat on my midsection. Okay, well, listen, you really don't want to lose 10 or 15 pounds. You want to lose the fat on your midsection. Well, yeah, I guess you're right, but I'm pretty sure if I lose 10 to 15 more pounds, then my midsection, it'll look the way I want it to look. Wrong. That's not the way it works. I can't tell you how many times these people lose their 10 pounds or 15, or maybe they even exceed their weight loss goal. And then they're sitting there and they're like, what is going on? Like, I still have fat around my midsection. Like I lost this extra weight and I feel like it all came from my arms and my legs. And here's the thing. They're not doing anything wrong. If you've experienced this, you're not doing anything wrong. It's just part of being a human. It's just the way our body works sometimes. And so we need to grasp and understand that weight loss goals and appearance goals are not the same. And achieving a certain weight does not guarantee a certain appearance. We also need to understand that appearance goals are subjective. They are based on personal opinions. And when we're chasing appearance goals, we're basically chasing approval. And for you, it might be approval from others, but maybe it's just approval from yourself. Maybe you don't approve of yourself or the way you look. You don't like it. You're not at peace with it. You don't like your body. You're almost ashamed of it, right? But here's the thing. I'm sorry if that's you. It breaks my heart for you, but if we're chasing appearance goals, we're chasing approval, and this is all based on opinion. And you know as well as I do, our opinions change. You may see a picture of yourself and you're like, ooh, I kind of like that. Yeah, and it's just maybe the way the lighting is, and there's certain parts of your body that maybe aren't included, or they're, just the way this picture came out. You just like the way it looks. And that picture's probably your profile picture on social media. It's okay. It's the same for all of us. And then there may be another picture taken in the exact same day, later that day, or maybe just the very next day. Now, your body didn't change. You didn't change that much, but you see it and you're like, oh, God, I hate that picture. Please, no one put that on social media. Oh, my gosh, I hope she doesn't put that on social media. I hope he doesn't, put that on his Instagram account or whatever. Oh, my goodness. That's because our opinions change. You're the same person. You look well, I know the pictures may look different, but it's still the same you, right? We experience this also with the mirror. We pass by a mirror and we're like, ooh, the light catches us right. We have a certain outfit on. We're like, ooh, I like that. And then other times we see ourselves in the mirror and we're just disgusted. And again, if this is you, I'm so sorry. I'm not making light of this, but I want you to understand that if we're chasing appearance goals, sometimes we're just kicking the can down the road, because we're chasing approval, and approval is based on our personal opinion, or maybe the opinion of someone else, and opinions change. So it's like we're chasing the carrot, that's on the end of the stick dangling in front of us, and we can almost reach it, but not quite. And we lose some weight, and maybe we get some changes, but now we're not quite happy with that. And we want to lose some more, and we want to do some more. So appearance goals are subjective. Now, on the other end of the spectrum, weight loss goals are objective. They are based on facts, on numbers, on data. And that's great. If you have a specific weight loss goal that you want to achieve, it can be a lot easier to achieve that. It can be a lot easier to know when you achieve that because it is objective, okay? So I'm not saying you should just have weight loss goals and not appearance goals. This is entirely up to you. You should pursue whatever you want to pursue. I just want you to clearly understand the difference between these two and how achieving one doesn't mean that you'll magically achieve the other. Next up, the second solution, and we're going to circle back around to some of these ideas of subjective versus objective goals. But the second part of the solution I would encourage you to embrace when it comes to setting goals is to get specific about what you want to accomplish. Get really specific about your goals. Now, this is very true, and it works beautifully for the vague goals like that I mentioned earlier, like being healthy or get fit or be strong or get in shape or look good, which comes right back to the appearance goals, right? Oh, I just want to look good. Well, what does that even mean, right? One person's looking good, maybe another person's, I couldn't imagine looking that way. So again, it's all based off personal opinion. But we need to get very clear on these things. We need to get specific. What does it mean to be healthy? Well, Corey, here's what it means to me. My blood pressure, my blood sugar, my triglycerides, and my cholesterol are all in a healthy range, and my doctor says, you are healthy, and I'm not worried about you. Great. If we know that, if we get that, that's what being healthy means. We have to define what it means. What does it mean to be fit? Corey, I just want to be fit. Okay, let's define that. What does it mean? Well, to me, to be fit, it means being able to do all the things I want to do in life, to go on the hikes that I really enjoy, to go swimming, to have the energy to play with my children, and to not get tired, to have the energy to play with my grandchildren and not be tired, to be able to get up and down out of the floor, off of the floor, after playing with my kids or my grandkids without feeling like I'm 107 years old, right? What does it mean to be strong? Well, I just want to feel strong. Okay, what does that mean? Some of these can be tough to define, but it's so important because if we don't define it, then we're kind of stuck in perpetual dissatisfaction because we don't ever know when we achieve it. We need to have a clear definition so that we can pursue that specific thing. Next up in this category of getting specific about what you want to accomplish, I want you to understand that there are a few problems and pitfalls to be aware of. And so it's kind of the other edge of this sword. This is a double-edged sword when we get very specific about things. Please understand that whatever you write down, the magnitude of that goal, the size of that goal, the audacity of that goal, or maybe just how significantly different it is than where you are now, how far it is from where you are now, that will also give you a rough idea of what it's going to take to achieve that goal. So, for example, if you say, my goal is I want to fit into a size 6. I'm just making this up. You may already be at a size 6. You may be nowhere close. It doesn't matter. I want to be at a size 6. And let's say that this person is currently in a size 16. Well, that's a pretty big change, right? So it's going to take some time. It's going to take some effort. If someone says, man, my big goal, I want to be fit, and to me, I've always thought of fitness as running. I want to run a marathon. That's great. If this person can currently run a 5K or a 10K, well, then it's not going to be as big of a transition for them. The goal is closer. If this person can't even run 1 mile, well, this goal is very far off, right? The magnitude is that much larger. And see, here's the thing. My concern as a coach, and here's my 2 cents as a coach, whether you want it or not, you're going to get it. It's that these gigantic goals, initially, they're really inspiring and exciting to think of and to dream about. It's like, ooh, because in that moment, it's like we suspend reality and we kind of go to that fantasy land of like, ooh, seeing myself running a marathon and crossing the finish line. Ooh, seeing myself with a certain body that really our brain is just constructed from what we see on Instagram or Facebook or what we see on the cover of a magazine. Ooh, that's the kind of body I want to have. Ooh, that's the level of fitness I want to have, right? And so when we suspend reality, and please understand, I'm not saying you cannot achieve these things. Not at all. You absolutely can achieve these things. But in that moment when we suspend reality and we think of and we dream about these goals, it's really inspiring and exciting to think of. But when the rubber meets the road in real life and you start pursuing your goal and you make some progress, which is amazing and it should be applauded and celebrated, at that very moment, there's a good chance that you'll be more likely to just compare how incredibly far it is from where you want to go. So at the very moment, you should be thrilled about the fact that you have made such fantastic progress. Man, I've lost 10 pounds. Yeah, but I've got 80 more to go. I want to lose 90 pounds. 10 pounds is nothing. That's barely a drop in the bucket. But you've lost 10 pounds and you're taking steps. You're 10 pounds closer to your goal. Yeah, but man, it's so far off. So here's the thing I just want to encourage all of you. And again, please understand, I am not I'm not trying to be Danny Downer, okay? I'm not trying to do that. All of you, you can achieve whatever you want with your body. I am not saying it's impossible. I just want you to have the greatest chances for success. And what I believe helps that is you can always set new, more exciting goals, but once you set a really, really big goal, for some people, it can be pretty tough to celebrate the victories and the progress along the way and to not just get lost and intimidated by how big and how far off or how distant your overall goal is. That's one of the biggest things I see when I coach people. I'll often tell people, hey, whatever that big goal is, write it down, make it very clear, get specific, put it on, literally write it on a piece of paper, then fold the piece of paper up and put it away. Put it in a drawer, put it away so that you can focus on here and now and what you really need to do. Because that's what will eventually get you to that big goal. All right? All right. Now, there's one more problem with getting specific with your goals. For some people, it can be really exciting to, like I said, almost kind of daydream about having a totally different body and the different life that comes with it. For others, it's harder to really think through things and to actually figure out what we really want. I really think there's like an epidemic, and I'm kind of part of this in some ways, but so many of us, we don't even know what we want. We can tell you what we don't want, but it's hard for us to truly identify exactly what we want. And I think part of that is we've never sat down and thought about it. I think part of it is deep down we feel like we don't deserve it. I think part of it is that deep down we feel like we'll never achieve it. And so it's very scary to think about it or write it down, because then it admits something that we want, when in reality there's a fear associated with it that we can't get there and we can't achieve it. And here's the thing, when we're thinking of this in terms of weight loss, if you are in this category, if it's hard for you to really think through things and to figure out what you want, then it is very tempting, and it can be so much easier to just start a diet and then eventually start another diet and then jump to another program and another program, because you'll feel like you're checking off the box. Like, I'm trying to lose this weight. I'm trying to do something. And so you just jump from diet to program, all the while never even really fully understanding what it is that you want, what it is that you're going after. So if that's you, it's okay. I connect with you in some areas of life. I'm exactly the same. And I'm like, whoa, dude, you got to step back. What do you even want out of this? So please don't be ashamed. But for some of you, you're not going to connect with that at all. That's fine. That's great. For some of the rest of you, you will. And if that's you, I hope you'll maybe take the time to sit down and figure out what you really want. Okay, moving forward, next up, the third part of this solution I'm offering is to find what's best for you. So once you understand that there's a difference between appearance and weight loss goals, and you identify what it is you really want, you need to find the best solution for you, because they're not all created equal. Once you understand everything that's going on here, everything I've described, you need to find the best way to go about achieving those goals. It may be a book that explains the process. It may be a coach or trainer that you really connect with. It may be a certain program that seems tailor-made for what your particular situation is and what you're looking to accomplish. And now some of you may be like, well, Corey, like you're always trying to tell me to like find a solution. Like, why can't I just do this myself? Look, hey, have no fear, my friend. You are going to do it yourself. You have to do the work. Regardless if you read a book or you get a trainer or a coach or use a program, you have to do the work, and you're going to get all the credit. Absolutely. That's what I tell people in my group all the time. You get all the credit. You did the work. Like, you achieved these amazingly successful results. Yes, we coached you. We guided you. Yes, I provided the step-by-step plan for you, but you did the work. So here's the thing. Don't miss this. Just because you're going to do the work and you may be a proud, self-sufficient person, it doesn't mean we don't need help. It doesn't mean we don't need a teacher. Like, if it's something we're struggling with, we probably need someone to teach us. And so, like I said, it could be a book or a coach or a trainer or a program. But here's what I want you to understand. Once you've determined what it is you really want, every weight loss book is not helpful. So don't just grab one because like, oh, the cover's cool or the title sounds good. Does it fit exactly what you're looking for? Every weight loss book is not helpful. Every trainer is not a good fit for you. Every coach is not a good fit for you, including me. Every program is not a good fit for you. Weight loss is way too broad. The same way that I want you to narrow your focus when it comes to your goals. I want you to narrow things down to figure out exactly what it is that you want to achieve. I want you to do the same thing in looking for a solution. Don't just look for a weight loss program. Look for something that can help you achieve exactly what it is you're going after. Look for something that speaks to you in your particular situation, and it fits you and what you want to accomplish. Trust me. It will save you so much time and headache and money. Okay? Okay. Now, lastly, I just want to share 2 more cents, an extra 2 cents, on this topic of setting goals and avoiding goals that will, I believe, just make you miserable. I believe it's rarely the cellulite or the belly fat or the number on the scale that is keeping us from having the life that we want. And I get it. Like, those things don't help us, right? Like, we want to lose those. We want to lose the belly fat. We want to get rid of the cellulite. I get it. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but I just don't think those are the things that are keeping us from having the life we want. Those are just representations and reminders. They represent how we're not happy with our life or ourself right then and right there. And they remind us of how things might not have turned out like we really wanted, like we maybe envisioned 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago. Like, how did I let myself get here? It brings those feelings up in us. They also remind us, the belly fat, the cellulite, the weight, the number we see on the scales, that stuff, it also reminds us of how maybe we've neglected ourselves and we've neglected our self-care, how we haven't shown up for ourselves. They represent and remind us that our life isn't really what we want it to be. And this is why I say that losing weight is really all about gaining life. And a gigantic part of gaining life is learning to forgive, accept, and love yourself. Right here, right now. And the cellulite, the belly fat, and the number on the scale, it can seem like evidence and reminders that we haven't loved ourselves and that we don't love ourselves. And we want them gone because we want to love and accept ourselves and stop being so dang mean to ourselves. We want the peace, the peace and the joy that come with that. And I believe that in our mind, it all gets intertwined and mixed up together. And before we realize it, we think we must lose that weight or get rid of our belly before we can be happy, before we can accept or love or approve of ourselves. Once we do that, then we have evidence. Yes. Then we have evidence that we can do it. And we have what it takes. And then life will be what we want it to be. and we'll be happy. And the love, acceptance, and the joy will come as a result. So, here's the thing. You can set your goals. I don't necessarily think that's a bad idea, but I hope you'll see that a physical change doesn't necessarily equal a mental or emotional solution. The same way that I said earlier, losing weight does not necessarily equal a certain physical appearance. A physical change doesn't necessarily equal or represent or lead to a mental or emotional solution. Changing our body doesn't necessarily change our life. It can, but it's not guaranteed. Changing our body, if we do it right, it can change us from the inside out in powerful ways that can also give us mental strength and help us better address our emotions. But if we change our body the wrong way by forcing it with disgust and a bunch of negativity and a bunch of negative emotions driving us, then it will likely only worsen the underlying problems. And this will never lead to the life that you really want. And I know it because I've seen it over and over again. So this is my last piece of advice. As you set your goals, your physical goals, I encourage you to also think about the mental and emotional piece as well. Don't just ask, what do I want to look like? What do I want to weigh? Be sure to also ask, how? How do I want to feel? How do I want to view myself? What do I want my mental and emotional climate to be like? What do I want my life to be like? What life do I want to have? And if you do that and really put some thought into it, oh man, I can pretty much guarantee you'll be light years ahead with your goal setting. And I truly believe it will help you clarify what you really want and what really matters to you that much more. And as a result, you'll have so much more peace and power. Don't miss this. When you go through this process and you do it how I said, you will have so much more power as you begin moving toward your goals. My friends, I hope this has been helpful. And I hope you'll share it with someone, like I always say, and I hope the 2 or 3 of you will discuss it and ask some questions and answer some questions with each other. Hey, what exactly are your weight loss goals? Have you ever even thought through this process? Have you ever thought about goal setting like Corey talked about it in that episode? Do you buy into all that stuff he said about what the belly fat and cellulite really represents? Or do you just think he's full of crap? Like, let's discuss this. Man, that would make my day if you would get together with someone and do that, because I know you'll get so much more out of it. Last but not least, if you would like to support this podcast and support yourself, there are 2 big ways you can do that. Number 1, take the next step and join my Inner Circle coaching program. This is the biggest win-win. It's the most powerful way to support this podcast and support yourself on your health and weight loss journey. We can help you through this goal-setting process. Maybe you're not sure. Maybe you think you know. We can help you with that. Look, if you want a structured yet flexible but progressive plan that will build over time, then this is for you. You'll not only get access to my amazing private coaching group, but also my step-by-step roadmap to lose weight, change your brain, and to find more freedom and peace of mind than ever before when it comes to food and your body. 99% of the time, if someone likes this podcast, they absolutely love the coaching group. So if you want more info about that, you can shoot an email to support@CoreyLittleCoaching.com. You can find that address down in the show notes. Like I said, that is the first and best way to support this podcast. Secondly, if you'd like to, you can purchase Rise Nutrition products. These are products that I believe in, I trust, and I and my clients actually take on a consistent basis. If you're interested in giving Rise products a try, you can find them on Amazon or at the website challenge2rise.com. I'll include both of those links down in the show notes. And then let me just remind you one more time that you are so much more than a number. And the scales, man, they're just a little machine that sits in your bathroom. So don't let them dictate your emotions or dominate your headspace, because you're so much more than that. And losing weight, like I said earlier, it's all about gaining life and living the life you've always wanted to live. And I know you can do it, even if you've tried and failed 100 times and you just feel like you can't do it and you don't have what it takes. It's okay. It's okay. Lean into this podcast, lean into this teaching. I will help get you there, my friends. You can borrow my belief until you build your own belief, okay? Okay. Thank you so much for listening. I'm honored you spent this time with me today. Take care. God bless. Bye-bye.